So welcome to our meditation on appreciative joy. And with all the Brahma Viharas, all these divine forms of love in Buddhism, it can be supportive to know that it involves benefiting both self and others, that there's a positive wish for others to love others, to wish well for others. And here in appreciative joy, it's just hoping, wishing, aspiring that there's others, that their joy, their happiness they already have, that it continues, that it grows, that it fills them, that it nourishes them. So really a positive regard for them. But we're also included in Buddhism. There's not like a hard line that we only love other people. We're also allowed to feel the goodness of that intention, the goodness of appreciative joy. It brings a kind of lightness and openness and joy, pleasure to us to do it as well. And this becomes important because there's a feedback loop between how it nourishes us, how it delights us, how it brings pleasure here, especially meditative pleasure when we do the Samadhi practice, and how that is in kind of a wonderful cycle loop, feedback loop, with the imagining, thinking about, hoping for the continued happiness of someone else. So we're kind of using both to really grow and get immersed, absorbed in this appreciative joy. So today's topic is to have appreciative joy for a friend. Again, the principle is we moving towards from what's easiest to what's more difficult, but that doesn't mean we have to do it fast. So choosing a friend who may be just a good friend, maybe a friend whom it's relatively very easy to share in their joy, celebrate with them when things are going well, but there are some complications. There are some things that you troubled by with your friend, or worry about, or hold back, or resist, or they're not quite happy about. And the idea is to find a way, an appropriate way, to have an unconditional positive regard for your friend, so that in the circumstances where you gaze upon them for meditation, you just want their well-being, their goodness, their success, their joy to continue. And that remember a time when you did share with them something that, and you said how happy you were that they were happy, things were going well for them. And sometimes when doing a friend, it's nice to have an image of them in your mind, or a memory of them at a time when they were happy, when they were delighted. Or to imagine, what I've done sometimes, imagine them at home if they had a good family life growing up. Imagine them sitting around the dining room table, the kitchen table, and with their family at a wonderful event, a birthday or birthday breakfast or something where there were people who just had positive regard and happiness, and there was love. So have this imagination, have these recall, think about your friend this way, some way, so that you get uplifted, you get a little bit delighted. And then that delight, that pleasure of that then becomes the fuel for offering this to, for wishing more for them. May they be happy. May they continue. And you're kind of surfing on or carried with this wish, this positive regard for them. May you be happy. But doing it in a meditative way, contemplative way, where the discursive mind is getting quieter, so the whole mind, the whole heart, the whole of you can participate in a calm, relaxed concentrated way, with just this wish, just this desire for their happiness, supported by the image, supported by your intention, and supported by um, your positive regard. So to begin, and maybe begin with a positive regard for yourself. That is expressed in the posture you assume. The meditation posture may be a place where something really important for you has a chance to surface, to be. Maybe the way that you hold yourself in meditation can be something that's supportive and meaningful for you. Putting aside some of the not supportive ways that you live, you think, you're preoccupied, to just be here, positive regard for yourself, with care, with love. And within that positive regard, to feel your body, to open up into your body, as if positive regard is a positive sensing of the body, opening to the body, to make room for all of what you are to be cared for, to be gazed upon positively, or at least kindly. And then in a maybe tender way, gentle way, take a little bit fuller breaths. As if the gentle movements of breathing are movements of care, kindness, and then perhaps a little longer exhale than usual, maybe a little slower, is a trusting into the body, relaxing. Letting the breathing return to normal. And to bring to mind a friend. A good friend. Maybe a friend who it's easy for you to feel friendship and warmth. A friend maybe that you have in the past been with them when they were happy, joyful, successful in some way, and you celebrated with them, or you shared deep appreciation and delight, joy. Knowing that they have a capacity for happiness, peace, joy, even with their challenges. Thinking about how things are going well now and with this friend, or find a friend for whom things are going relatively well now. So it's realistic for you to wish that their well-being continue, their happiness. And then gently, in a meditative way, in a way that quiets the thinking mind, the discursive mind, a way that connects you to your well-wishing for your friend. Say, or almost say, maybe sub-vocally, may your well-being continue. May the good in your life continue. May your joy continue. Usually it's good to choose just one phrase so that you can gather, connect the phrase to the well-wishing, the image or memory of the person. And whatever pleasure comes with sitting here like this, with the wish, as you open, and as I've said, it's saying the phrase, maybe the last word is on the beginning of the exhale. So there's a cruising, surfing, gliding with that goodwill, with that joy, as the exhale flows on. May your happiness continue. Or maybe a little more involved on the inhale, may your happiness continue. And the exhale is an affirmation of that, saying yes to that wish. Letting there be a feedback loop between your wish for them to be happy and the well-being and pleasure that this meditation might give in you. harmonizing your well-wishing in a rhythm of the phrases, harmonizing it with your breathing. And with every phrase, every breath, settling or opening into the bodily experience of calm, pleasure, joy, as if the inhale is spreading it through your body and mind. And the exhale quiets the mind, so there's more room and awareness to feel the joy, the well-wishing. And as we come to the end of this sitting, to bring this friend or friend to mind again, and consider how in the privacy of meditation that it can be possible to love or have goodwill or well-wishing in an unconditional way, unreserved way. Your friend doesn't have to know this unreserved, loving appreciation of their goodness and their success and their happiness. Doesn't require you to do anything or to tell them or put you in any compromising relationship to them. Just to take a few moments here to see how open the heart can be. And to open the heart wider. And for a few minutes, without reservation, close to an unlimited well-wishing for all beings, where they're wishing that their joy, their success, their well-being continue and grows and expands. Whatever ways that people have well-being, even if it's small, may it grow, may it expand, and may your unconditional positive regard have infinite room, space, allowance of others' joy. May all being grow in their well-being. May all beings be able to expand their circle of safety. May all beings expand their capacity for happiness and peace. In whatever way people have found freedom from attachments and suffering, let's celebrate that, appreciate that, and aspire that it grows and expands. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. And may our positive regard contribute to that possibility. Thank you. So hello and welcome. as I continue with these talks on appreciative joy, where this week's emphasis is the Samadhi, meaning to really give ourselves over fully to this capacity we have to have appreciative joy. Uh, and, um, and this idea of giving yourself over to it, people, uh, people might have some resistance to that because they might put things that might be challenging. Then people will take advantage of them, or people will misunderstand it. But the wonderful thing about doing this in meditation is that it's a safe place. It's a place where nothing has to be done or said. You don't have to put yourself in a situation that later you regret. It's just here that you don't have any reservations. You don't hold yourself back. You don't and continue with mental preoccupations, with mental resistance, with conclusions about the world, yourself, that you kind of put aside so many things that limit you or keep you caught in order to make room for a unconditional positive regard, for your heart's capacity for well-wishing to flow through you in a full and complete way. Now, as a practice of appreciative joy, we have to be careful we don't set it up that it's only about being successful at doing that. A very important part of this, it makes this kind of a realistic practice, is that, of course, there'll be up against places where it's hard and where we do hold back. And rather than being discouraged, discovering that, the idea is to be encouraged. Oh, this is where I get to practice. This is where I get to stretch or question or open up or understand what's happening with me. And so this is built into the practice of appreciative joy because the idea is to start with where it's most easy and then progressively and slowly do it where it's more difficult and more difficult. And there are these 5 categories. There's the where it's easy, the person who's the benefactor, a friend, a neutral person, and then an enemy. And then the 6th category is all beings. And these categories, we can go through them and choose people for whom it's not so difficult to satisfy each one. But then we go through it again and again, we start stretching into where it's a little bit more difficult, to see what's happening for us and see, can we let something go? Can we quiet? Can we open? And as we do that, to allow the joy, the pleasure of this open, kind regard to nourish us, to fill us, and to allow this dual benefiting, that we're wishing benefits for our friend, we're appreciating what's going well for them, we feel their joy, but in doing that, we start feeling joy and happiness, and the very wish for their happiness to continue is also a good thing. So there's this triple joy. There's a quadruple joy, which can exist, which I think is really important for Buddhist practitioners. And that is a certain kind of joy, pleasure, delight, satisfaction in knowing we're up against where it's difficult for us, where we are in check, where we are resisting, where we are reserving, holding back our love, and see that, okay, here I get to look at it, here I get to find it and understand it. And one of the reasons why that can bring certain degree of joy is that we have some intuition that there is another side of that we can move to. This is a good direction to go. And rather than being discouraged by the resistance we have or the holding or we have, it's okay, now I'm going to be with it and see what's going on here and see if I can see to the other side and be able to have this more, not limit myself through this. And part of the teachings of the Buddha about these Brahmaviharas, including appreciative joy, it's possible to bring it into a state, into a way of being where it's unlimited, or say it in a little bit more precise way, because unlimited just seems kind of too vast. It's where we no longer, we put no limitations on ourselves. There's no holding back, no resistance, and discovering what that's like, and and then from there, what we do in our regular life becomes wiser, maybe, um, uh, from that reference point of that love that we have. But it doesn't mean that we have to put ourselves in danger. It doesn't mean we have to compromise our well-being for a difficult friend. So in terms of using this practice to begin stretching into that, it could be that you have a very good friend, but they have one thing that troubles you. Almost every time that you have set up a schedule, a time to meet, they always come late. And um, and the they're always coming late, and so you are. So the question is, do you hold that against them in your meditation? Do you limit yourself in your meditation because of that? So one of the kind of growing edges of this kind of is, do you hold yourself with your resentment or your criticism or your complaining or something? When you know doing that, you're limiting yourself, holding something in check inside. Why not? Why harm yourself in a sense based on someone else? It's bad enough that they're late. Why make it harder for you? It doesn't mean that you're condoning it or necessarily accepting it, but you're not allowing yourself to limit yourself because of it. Um, and this growth. So appreciative joy, meaning feeling joy in the joy and success of others. You might really go through the day to day, look for places where not only where you can feel that and participate or share in people's joy and success, however small, um, uh, and but also start noticing where you hold back from appreciating it, saying thank you, or that was really nice, or I enjoyed watching that, or I really appreciate how well that was done, um, and see if there's ways that you can express your appreciation of people, express what's going well for them, what's good for them, and appreciating their joy, their happiness, in a way that is not so intense for them, just enough to kind of be able to share it with them. But notice where you hold back. Notice where you have, um, notice where you kind of don't want to do that. And see what you learn about yourself and question it and see if there's ways of developing and growing um, through that. So, appreciative joy. Take time for it. Be very careful with the insistence of a busy life, busy mind, things you have to do, things you're supposed to think, ways in which you want to preoccupy and occupy yourself with being entertained or having things happen. That holds back, prevents you from really cultivating these qualities of heart. In the long term, these qualities of heart are what's going to support you the most into your life. So, thank you very much, and I will look forward to coming back here and continuing this.